Thanks for watching us here at 3 Point View. We're talking about MVPs right now. As far as the NFL goes, it was a clear-cut race until Carson Wentz went down with an ACL tear.
Yeah.
Who's the MVP now?
Who you got, Brennan?
Like Carson Wentz's ACL, I'm torn.
I personally feel like they're probably going to give it to Brady. I don't feel like Brady is deserving of it this year. I honestly think that Belichick still is the mastermind of that team, period.
Yeah.
Brady's just a puzzle piece to it. I think Gurley is in the running for it, but I still say if Wentz is leading the league in touchdowns thrown after next week, he should be the MVP. I don't care what you say. You can argue with me all you want. I don't care. This is you ask me what I think, I'm telling you what I think. But you tell me what you think.
It's either Gurley, Brady, Russell Wilson. That's my list. Russell, if he wasn't on that
Wilson
team,
is the MVP of his team.
If he wasn't on that team, they would be a 2-win team, 3-win team.
Yeah.
Right.
Russell Wilson, after they got their face kicked in by the Rams, totally takes. I believe until that point.
I think it's Gurley though.
Gurley, they say he's projected for 2,200 yards, 20 touchdowns. That's his projection.
Right.
Yards from scrimmage, not rushing. But I believe Gurley.
It's a trickle-down effect.
Like the last time a running back won it was Adrian Peterson, but he had to put up 2,000 yards rushing.
And that's why.
Why does the running back have to be like over the top great to even get mentioned? And like we said, Antonio Brown before he went down, he was on pace too. So it's like injury. It's like by default you're getting. It's like who's going to be standing at the end?
This season that Gurley's putting up reminds me of another former Ram in
Marshall Faulk, right?
Yeah,
He won the MVP, right?
All that stuff. He won the MVP, covered Madden, everything like that. Now, the trickle-down effect, what I mentioned earlier with Gurley, if Gurley doesn't have the season that he's having, Jared Goff doesn't have the season that he's having.
Oh, no way.
Same as Dak last year with
So
Zeke.
if you take Gurley off that Rams team, I don't think the Rams are where they are right now. And if you take Tom Brady off the Patriots, I don't think the Patriots are where they are right now. If you take Russell Wilson off the Seahawks, they definitely aren't where they are right now. So those three are my top three because of if you take them off, there's nobody that's going to replace them.
I still feel like the Patriots would be pretty good if Brady
I
wasn't
don't,
there.
and the only evidence we have of that is Matt Castle the one.
Matt Castle, and guess what?
That's it.
If Brady wasn't,
Good old Matt
that's the only
Castle.
time. That's the only time Brady wasn't there, if you recall. But if you would have taken him out, and they didn't trade Jimmy G, it'd still be pretty damn good, I bet.
But we
Just
don't
saying.
know that though.
I'd be willing to. If they went there with
Just like we don't know
Matt
what
Castle.
would happen if the other players
When
were
Carson
out.
Wentz
I know.
went down, Nick Foles came in. His game against the Giants, he threw 4 touchdown passes.
Right.
But I watched that last game. It was painful to watch.
It was.
It was horrible.
It
That was
was.
one of the worst games I've seen all year. Like that game I said where they played
From
England.
both teams.
It hurt me so bad.
It was bad football.
Yeah.
Like so, I think Carson Wentz should still win the MVP despite going down.
Oh.
But you guys can think that.
Oh.
You know that they love to pick quarterbacks.
Yeah, of course they love to pick quarterbacks, but
That's
you're
what
not
they
gonna
do.
have, you're not going to have Tom Brady.
And you know they get bored of people winning all the time. You know they get bored.
If he wasn't suspended that 1 year with the
The city of Philadelphia wants an MVP, and they have their blue-collar man and Carson
He's
Wentz.
not going to win it this year, though, just because.
No,
he's
it's-
I'm making a case for Carson Wentz.
I would too. But the only reason why
No, he
he's
wouldn't.
not
He's
in the
not.
case, the only reason why Carson Wentz, I say Carson Wentz when we were talking about MVPs a
Before he got hurt.
a few weeks back before he got hurt. So now that he is hurt and he's missing 3 weeks, I can't do it. It's just not fair to the other guys.
Even if next week's over and he's still leading,
I don't care if he's leading the league in touchdown passes. Who gives a rip?
that's what an MVP does.
You're leading the league in touchdown passes.
So they
But
said
MVP
last. They said last year.
Minus 3 weeks.
They said last year.
But Tom Brady
was the clear
No,
cut.
he's third. He's got
Tom
third.
Brady was the clear cut
That's third.
MVP last year, but they didn't give him to him because why? He didn't play all 16
Right.
games. So you're saying the same thing. They're not going to give it to Carson Wentz because he didn't play all 16
do it.
games. So even though at what point, like Peyton Manning won MVPs and only played 14 games or whatever because they sat him or 15 games
Well, they
the
didn't
last
sit
one.
3 weeks.
What I'm saying is he won an MVP when he sat. So what's the difference?
This is another thing too. We're gonna go into another sport real quick, just because of this topic, missing games. So if you got an MVP in the NBA that plays 70 out of 82 games,
Mhm.
and they give them the MVP, How come they can't give it to Tom Brady or Carson Wentz for missing a few games?
I think
Is
they
it
can.
because there's only 16 games?
I love it
Or
when
is
you
it
prove our point.
because there's 82 games? I'm not proving no point. I've already said I believe Carson Wentz would be an MVP if he didn't get hurt. But they didn't give it to Tom Brady. They're not going to give it to Carson Wentz.
We agree with you on the fact that they're probably not going to, but we are stating the case of they should. That's where we're at.
So
Yeah, I understand that.
So you're saying Tom Brady or Gurley?
Gurley.
You're saying Wentz.
I'm saying Wentz, but they're gonna. If I had to pick between Gurley and Brady, I'd go Gurley.
My heart says co-MVPs Gurley, Wentz. My mind is telling me Brady's going to win it again. It's going to be that cherry on top of the
I
sundae.
get it. I
So
understand that.
we know that the Patriots and Steelers, we've gone through this a million times, but in the NFC, Carson Wentz is not there anymore. We watched the Eagles. The Eagles look stagnant. Who is coming in on the NFC? Because everybody wanted to anoint Dallas Cowboys as the next, Dak Prescott, Elliott. They're eliminated.
Yep.
What do you think about that, all you Dallas Cowboy fans?
Uh-huh.
Seattle beat them. I'm not impressed
That
by
game
Seattle.
was super sloppy.
Oh my god.
142 penalty yards, and
Oh
the
my
Seahawks
God.
had 136 total yards.
That's deplorable.
And they won. And Dallas still couldn't beat them. They couldn't even come up in the clutch. So
Is it because is Seattle that bad, or I noticed when
I
they
think it's
did?
because Dallas is that bad, and they can't live up to the moment.
I think Seattle finally, like the way they started off with that team. If you remember, they went through the draft and they went through this, and they were so far under the salary cap that when they won the Super Bowl, everybody started getting paid, and then you cut a little slack here, cut a little slack there, cut a little slack there. Is it Earl Thomas now? He said he might go to Dallas or something
I'm
like
just
that.
saying if the time comes and like Seattle cuts them like they've been doing, then come get them.
Basically, what happened to Tampa Bay when they won the Super Bowl, everybody got paid,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden they kept
Larry
paying
Brown.
everybody, and then essential parts
That
fell
window
apart.
is definitely
And
closed.
you had like
They
Booger
better-
McFarland and
they
them
better
all
draft
leaving
well.
No.
because
Yeah.
everybody doesn't want to pay somebody named Booger. Well, guess what? Booger's literally stuck things together in there, kept that together. And what did he do? He went to Indianapolis because they didn't want to pay a guy named Booger, and he went to Indianapolis. He got paid again. So I'm saying you can't. It's like the whole cycle came full for Seattle.
No. I think I think their reign is going to be over. There's pieces that are going to fall apart. There's pieces that they're going to leave.
There's one team that's
They're gonna
complete.
trade.
Their division. There's one team that's clearly better at this
Clear cut,
point, and there's another team that's on the rise, and they're like Brock said, they've had to pay a lot of people. They've had to watch Bruce Irvin's gone, plus injuries. They're going to continue to have to pay these pieces. Their offense
And they're still fairly young. Thomas is 28. Sherman's 29. Bobby Wagner's 27.
which means those
Wilson's
paydays are
contract?
still rolling in.
He's still
Did
rolling.
Wilson get paid? I didn't
Yeah,
know.
Yeah, he got paid.
He got paid.
Because even when they won the Super Bowl, he was making like $400,000, right?
Right.
Because he was a second round
They-
pick, right?
Just
He got
look at
paid
that
for his
offensive side of the
contract.
ball. You can
That's
tell
contract.
where the money's being
This
spent.
is what I'm thinking. They went downhill.
That window's closing.
They went downhill when they lost Max Unger off that offensive
Oh,
line.
yeah.
When they traded for Jimmy Graham.
Right.
So when they lost Max Younger, this was 3 years ago. So the build up to what it is now is because of that. And that is what made Seattle kind of lose their...
It's like the crack in the armor.
and I
Right.
truly
It's like
feel
that little
Yeah,
crack in the
cheap
windshield
there.
that just kept
Right,
getting
just
bigger
keeps
and
getting
bigger.
bigger and bigger.
And one day you wake up and be like, what the
hell
hell?
just happened.
Yep.
No.
So now, with all this going on in the NFC, are the Rams the ones that spanked the Seahawks? Are they the favorite?
Rams and Saints.
Rams and Saints.
Rams and Saints.
The
NFC
Panthers look good. They just don't look great.
I don't trust
They
them.
look like they're a good team. They just don't. They're not. You know what I mean? They're not just giving me that extra level.
It's not consistent.
I don't trust the Panthers, but the
Drew
Saints and
Brees
Rams-
got a run game.
Yeah.
Drew Brees, this is a whole.
And
new-
they can both catch out of the backfield. They can both run in between tackles and outside tackles, and they have the tight end.
I didn't think
and
Ingram
the
was gonna be this good.
And Ingram's been good. He
Ingram,
just-
yeah,
he's been
he
consistent.
hasn't
He's-
been
He
good.
hasn't blown.
Consistent,
Well,
right.
yeah, now because he's got somebody else taking a little bit of the carries
Yeah.
off him, so you can stay a little fresher.
He's always reminded me of Emmitt Smith the way he runs.
Yeah, a little
It might
bit.
just
I
be
can
the
see it.
number.
I can
The
see
number.
it. I can see
The
it.
size.
Little bowling ball.
But they've conserved Drew. Drew
Yeah.
has been conserved, and on top of that, where were they? They number number 2 seed.
What seed?
Yeah,
I'm not sure exactly.
I think they're the 2 seed. I think Philly.
Who? The Rams?
No,
or
the Saints.
Saints. The Saints are not the 2.
What are they?
The Vikings and
The
the
Vikings.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting.
Eagles.
Vikings, Rams, Eagles, Saints.
I think
Vikings,
it's actually
Rams.
Eagles, Vikings.
Yeah,
Eagles,
it's-
Vikings,
yeah,
Saints.
Yeah.
All right, so
Saints.
never mind. I was thinking that they were going to end up with some home games, and then you get some home games in the dome with Drew Brees.
I just want to
Man,
know.
they're going to have to play
Do
through.
you think? Like, look, did
Don't
you see?
beat Minnesota.
Did you just see how
I
we
don't
did that?
know,
Just
dude.
see how we did that?
Well, they got a running back.
We forgot completely about the Minnesota Vikings.
No.
They're the 2 seed, and we completely forgot about it. Is that because we don't believe in Case Keenum?
It's
I
because
don't know.
Case Keenum just got me 9 points in a fantasy championship.
Well, like you were saying about Drew Brees having home games in a dome, I think if the Saints played Minnesota,
They're going to be running the ball against.
but they're going to be in the dome. So it's kind of like a home game for Drew Brees. just
Here's
minus the
this.
crowd.
If I'm Minnesota and New Orleans is rolling in, I'm opening the top of that dome. We're
Right.
getting some snow.
No.
I'm just saying, it's not the Super Bowl.
So who's your pick? NFC.
Total or championship?
To go
To the
give me the
Super Bowl?
NFC Championship and the Super Bowl.
I want to say I want to say the Saints. I want to believe in Drew Brees going on the last hurrah with New Orleans. I want to say the Saints coming out of the NFC.
I'm going the Rams. I feel like that's like a nit for knack thing.
Mhm.
I'm
I'm just going with the quarterback. That's why I'm picking the Saints.
I understand that. I'm going with the defense that's more consistent. The
They're
Saints
both-
have been
they're
good
both
this
pretty
year.
consistent.
This year,
No.
the Rams defense has been good for several years.
Yeah.
The Rams defense or the Saints defense seemed like one week they're like, boom, I'm here and I'm
Right,
ready. The
right.
next week it's like, not so much.
Yeah.
Defense wins championships. That's why I'm going to go with the Rams here.
The reason with the Saints have that defense, but they also have that quarterback.
They do.
And
I give you
Experience too. They've
I
already
give you.
done it.
I think
the
experience
notch
is
there.
kind of overrated. I think quarterback talent isn't, and Drew Brees has more quarterback talent
Absolutely.
than Jared Goff.
I think
What do you
if Gurley
Go either way.
continues to play out of his mind like he's been
That's
playing,
where I'm at with it.
I think it doesn't matter.
Who you got?
I'm gonna take the Rams against the Saints
Mm-hmm.
in the NFC Championship game, and then I'm going to take the Rams to go to the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
and I'm going to take them to get their ass beat because they'll be out, man. No, I want actually. You know what would be great for me is that if you know how Brady came into the Super Bowl against the high flying. Nobody thinks they're gonna lose.
Right,
greatest
right.
greatest
Show on
on turf, and came in and beat the Rams. What if it came full circle
Rams
and the Rams came in? The no respect. Who's this Jared Goff? All
What
this
is it,
stuff.
the fastest
And-
ass on grass now?
Who's
The
that?
fastest
Gurley.
on grass.
Gurley, fastest ass.
Wow.
So
I like that.
that's my pick. So over the weekend we've seen one of the greatest catches we've seen all year. DeAndre Hopkins. Was this the catch of the year?
Hell no.
Hell to the no.
It was offensive pass interference, is what it was.
He pushed off.
He grabbed the guy down.
Yeah,
And,
a little
that
bit.
was offensive pass
They-
interference.
they
That is not
tapped
the
it.
greatest catch.
I
of the
won't.
year.
I don't want to give it the greatest catch of the year, but I don't know what other catches to compare it to at this point for the
Antonio
year.
Brown had a great catch. Rob Gronkowski had a great
Yeah,
catch.
I've seen it. There's some
You know.
all the time. He
I don't think it was that
the,
great.
the concentration level on it, the fact
the end parts
that
keep your feet in. And,
yeah,
you know,
I mean
everything's
it was a
that
great catch. I don't know that I can go the
But it
greatest catch
cancels
of the
out
year.
because that was offensive pass interference.
I
don't
think, it's,
care what
I, think,
anybody
I think
says.
it's the greatest catch of the year because Odell Beckham Jr. didn't play this year. I think
Oh, yeah, that too.
he throws up highlight reels like
Dude,
no other.
That
Yeah.
should almost be the logo of the NFL.
Right.
You know, Jordan's got him doing this and catching it behind. That was the craziest shit I've ever seen.
Okay, so we agree that it's not the greatest
Right.
catch of the year. But here's what maybe we might agree on this. Who's got the best hands in the NFL right now?
Gotta be Odell.
Odell Beckham
It's
Jr.
gotta be Odell. I mean, because you think of Odell and you think of these hands. Now, do you remember back in the day who had the best hands? Chris Carter.
Chris Carter had good.
Chris Carter had good hands. Chris Carter has hands like Odell Beckham. And when he catches the ball, you see like his hands are huge. Like they cover that ball, and it doesn't bobble in there. It sticks. You know. So Chris Carter or Odell Beckham reminds me of the way Chris Carter used to catch the ball. So I would have to go Odell.
I mean, it's hard to argue against Odell. Like, it really is. I mean, there's other receivers you can put in there. I love DeAndre Hopkins as a receiver. I feel like no matter who's throwing him the ball, he's productive. Like no matter who's throwing him the ball.
I'm excited to see the future with Deshaun Watson when he's healthy.
Oh my goodness.
And DeAndre Hopkins.
Dude,
Will Fuller.
I feel like if Watson was playing, there might be
We'd
a
be talking about
whole
Houston.
nother
Yeah,
team
we'd
the
talk about
AFC
Houston
would be
right now.
concerned with. You know what I mean?
I think Houston would light up Pittsburgh's secondary.
How do you consider? Wow.
I think a person who doesn't get enough credit is Antonio Brown as far as hands. But I don't think it's his hands.
I think he has the footwork.
I think he has the ability.
He's
I think,
overall
like as you
polished,
said,
dude.
Chris Carter is equal to Odell Beckham Jr. I think Antonio Brown is equal to Jerry Rice as far as they have a nose for the football. They had a way to get open. When he knows how to get his quarterback and what his quarterback thinks in his psyche to get the ball. They got those looks as far as a receiver, and I think Antonio Brown, like you said, footwork, ability to get open. When it breaks down, the Pittsburgh Steelers, when a play breaks down, I have no more confidence in anybody in the league than Antonio Brown and Ben Roethlisberger on what they do.
Right.
They're great at it. But like I said, as far as hands, I'm going to go with Odell Beckham Jr.
A lot of teams with, like you're saying with the breakdown, a lot of players don't do what Antonio Brown does.
What's that?
It hurt me. Hold on, I didn't mean to cut you off. It just hurt me to hear you say, well, that Antonio Brown was equal to Jerry.
No, I'm saying.
No. As
I know what he was saying,
player,
but just to hear the words come out of his mouth.
Antonio Brown is the.
I
one of
know
the
he's
great
damn
players.
good. I know he's one of the greatest, but it hurt. That's all I'm just saying. Sorry, continue your.
Right, so
My thing is, I think
I'm not even arguing.
Terrell
It's
Owens.
hurt.
Terrell Owens is very Des Bryant-ish. I think they're that same type of player.
He was better than Dez.
with what you were saying, to piggyback off that, Antonio Brown, his playmaking ability, a lot of receivers don't do what he does when the ball breaks down. They just stop.
He's
Antonio
a football
Brown
player.
keeps it moving.
He's a football
just like
player.
in the backyard.
He's a football player.
We break it down when the quarterback.
He also learned from Hines Ward. He's not afraid to
So
throw
why
a freaking
doesn't
block.
Bryant
He's
do
not.
that? Even though they're
because it's up here. It's here. They don't have
You're
that.
talking about Martavis?
There's
yeah,
a lot
he
of
doesn't
players that
do
don't
when
have
Antonio
that.
when the play breaks down.
No.
Players.
And that's when he makes
players
those
don't.
big
There's a
plays.
lot of players
He
that
doesn't
don't
have
have
the-
that
he-
backyard mentality.
It's not even just a backyard mentality. It's a football IQ. He doesn't
yeah.
have the football IQ that Antonio Brown has. He's an athlete. He's a superb athlete.
Right.
He's a big boy. But as far as the on the spot, okay, this is what I need to do. This is what I need. That's not there yet. I mean, if it ever gets there, look
He'll
out.
never be there.
Yeah,
He'll never be
we'll
there.
see. Time
He'll
will
never
tell.
be there. He doesn't have it in between here to have that.
Time will tell.
We talked last week about Christmas movies.
Oh yeah.
And, we talked about what our favorite Christmas movies were. It brought up the subject. Somebody said, well, why don't you guys talk about sports movies since that's what you guys do? So we're going to talk about favorite sports movies of the week. I'm from Northeast Ohio. I went to Cleveland Indians games at Municipal Stadium where if the game got bad enough, you felt like you could play for the Cleveland Indians. That's how bad it got. So I remember sitting
At 10 years old.
I remember sitting in a stadium that fit 80,000 people.
Municipal.
Yeah, and you could sit anywhere you wanted after the third
Right,
inning because the
right.
game's already lost.
Get down
So
there in the dugout.
George Bell once threw a fit and threw the gator. I was there. You ever see that game? George Bell went bananas and threw Gatorade things and bats and everything like that. And I heard every cuss word. At that point, my life changed. I'm like, I know every cuss word there is to know now.
Yeah.
So anyway, when Major League came out and they just totally mocked the Cleveland Indians, and the fact that at the end of the movie and you think the Cleveland Indians just won, you're losing your mind. And the part where they call Lou Brown and they say, "Hey Lou, how'd you like to coach the Cleveland Indians?" And he goes, "I don't know. I got a guy on the other line who wants a new set of white walls." Or when they told Jake Taylor, "Oh, you play for the Indians? They still have a team?" Like that. So
Right.
I love that movie as far as baseball goes. What about you guys with baseball as far as movies?
Major League definitely is number
Major
one.
League's the best.
It's number one.
People
Other
say
than that,
Bull Durham is number one
I was gonna say
baseball.
Bull Durham would probably be a close second.
Cal Ripken said that Bull Durham was the most, was as far as
Authentic.
the most
Yeah.
accurate, authentic, according
Yeah.
to what baseball really is.
It wasn't as entertaining to me.
I don't think it.
Right.
But maybe that's because we're culturally or regionally biased as far as.
No, I mean, I think nationally, a lot of people, if you put that
I think
question out there, they would say Major League or
Major League would be right.
Wild Thing, when Wild Thing came out.
Oh, yeah.
Wild
Oh,
Thing.
Serrano,
Right.
We
I
should
mean,
have
there's so many
got
catchphrases.
him a real chicken.
Name a catchphrase from Bull Durham.
Oh man, that
Exactly.
was, right.
Exactly.
That was
yeah.
so.
My favorite sports
Baseball
movies-
wise, or?
No, not baseball wise. I don't have too many baseball anythings favorites. But the Rockies. I loved every Rocky movie there was.
I still watch Rocky movies,
I do too.
and I want to see him. Like, I'll be yelling at them, like, get up, and I get sick of all these critics because they think Rocky 5 is not critically acclaimed and blah blah.
Right,
I don't
right.
care. They feed into what we like.
You know what he's got to do, right?
So okay, we're talking about.
You know what he's got to do. Right?
We were talking about this.
2 for 2 on these kind of segments.
So Rocky 5.
Uh-huh.
Most people said it was the worst Rocky. There's a part where I think the best fight scene out of all the Rockies was Rocky 5 in the streets.
No.
When they had the Don King-esque
Right.
Tommy Morrison, Tommy Gunn.
Rocky Balboa, come out here and play, fight Tommy Morrison, Tommy the Gun, the Duke, right? And so he's in the bar. It feels very Warren, Ohio-ish. It feels like the Sons of Italy, like they're in the Sons of Italy, and they come in after he won. They come in after he won the belt, and he's like, I don't get no respect, blah 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 blah, and he challenges Rocky to fight. He's like, I don't want to fight you, kid. Why? Look at he wants us to throw hands. He wants us to. So he comes in, and I was telling Brandon the part where the two guys, the fat guys, stood up, and they go, Rock, you need help with this guy? And he goes, you challenged me to a fight, not a pie eating contest, which was great. So they go out there, and they're in the streets, and all of a sudden Tommy Morrison just digging at him,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden he goes down, and all of a sudden they show the flashbacks, and then they show the subway go through, and then all of a sudden Nick goes, get up, you son of a bitch, because Mickey loves you. And then they hit me with the music, and then he gets up and goes, hey, yo, Tommy, I ain't hit no bell. So when he says I ain't hit no bell, and then he comes in and he hooks him with the arm and does the old street move and throws him and starts whooping his ass. And then at the end,
cuts him on the truck.
and then at the end, he gets up to Duke and he's like, touch me and I'll sue. And he goes, what? He goes, touch me and I'll sue. And he blasts him and he goes, sue me for what? So like those type,
Classic.
Remember the Titans, I'm gonna say.
That's a good one too.
When they go,
Yeah.
that was I love Remember the Titans as far as that the part where he was saying I had 12 brothers and sisters and I did this and blah blah to get the player hyped up.
Yeah.
And then the coach goes to him and says, you had 12 brothers and sisters? He goes, no, I had 4. It's a lot better with 12.
Right.
So yeah, that's another one that's good to me. Golf movie, Tin Cup. By far is
Happy
my
Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore.
Oh. Caddyshack. There's some great golf movies out. Like golf movies
Golf
are better
movies
than
are
watching golf.
They are. They really are. Yeah.
What about Waterboy?
Waterboy.
If we're gonna transition into comedies
Waterboy.
from Remember the Titans, Waterboy was in there.
Yeah. I love some Waterboy.
Everybody says the Waterboy
Little
comment.
Giants.
You can do it.
Little Giants.
Little Giants. Oh my God.
I forgot about that. Holy
What
crap.
do you call this? Intimidation.
Oh,
Icebox.
speaking of baseball, what about Sandlot?
Sandlot. Oh, that is a great baseball movie as far.
Wow. He's throwing in some ones that I wasn't even
He's
thinking
an
about.
L7 weenie. The greatest pickle, Benny the Jet Rodriguez. So we want you guys to throw some of these off the wall categories out to us. So on Twitter, on Instagram, just hit us up at 3 Point View and we'll talk about them. Until next time, that's it for us today at 3 Point View.
Thank you.